Greetings. Welcome to Occult Kubrick. Today is episode 3, and we're a little recap from the book. I believe that it established many themes that we will discover later in our investigations further. I'm going to start us at the beginning. So, this episode is going to be, I'm going to be reading one of the first things I ever put out regarding Stanley Kubrick. So this here, I posted this on January 20th, 21. This is titled 2001 A Carnist Odyssey. How carnism is used by Stanley Kubrick to illustrate violence and domination as the force which leads mankind being cast out of the Garden of Eden. Really swinging for the fences, right? But basically, this is the whole premise of everything. This is where we should start everything. Understanding what is right, what is wrong, what is morality, where did humanity start this way? Where did psychopathy come from? What is psychopathy? How does it express itself in humans? And I believe that psychopathy expressing itself in humans is a running theme through all of Kubrick's work. So we're going to start here. Okay. And yes, the Garden of Eden, I know he's an atheist, but he's telling a new myth, right? And this Genesis is the original myth, right? Not the original, of course, but still. These ideas are being lumped into this entire situation. So we should be thinking about all of this, okay? And this is what knowledge of good and evil is, the knowledge of morality. And what the whole story of the, Eve with the apple, that there might be a lot going on there. And we're going to get into it. Okay. So I used stills. Like I did a video kind of recapping this maybe a couple of years ago for a friend of mine, Steve, who requested this because he liked this essay. And but this is going to be better. I'm doing it. I'm going to work because this is the beginning of the thesis, really. And Eyes Wide Shut is the icing on the cake, right? It all starts here with the beginning of mankind. So I wrote 2001 is both a celebration of intellect combined with violence, domination, and a lament for the loss of our rightful place in the Garden of Eden. I wrote, I guess if I disagree with it or if I've changed my theories, I will say something. Okay, but here we go. Kubrick's film is widely misunderstood and has many esoteric narratives running through it. We all know the film depicts an alien force communicating with apes to influence their evolution as a species, creating mankind. What I posit is that Kubrick uses Christian and Darwinist elements to depict the worldview of Mystery Babylon, using carnism, the killing and eating of animal flesh, to illustrate a satanic mindset of violence and domination. The first chapter of the film opens with the title, The Dawn of Man, inviting the viewer to consciously relate the scene to Genesis, the first book of the Holy Bible. Stanley displays the landscape, the Garden of Eden. Then he shows us an ape in the garden. This is where Kubrick combines the Christian creation myth with the theory of Darwinism. The two themes running together. He can catch us all in this net, right? The ape is Adam, the first man, the missing link of Darwinist theory. Next, we are shown the other animals which share the garden with ancient mankind. The apes are shown living peacefully with tapirs, and the apes are eating plants. We can see, I took a still, they're eating plants. That's what they're doing. The apes and pigs are shown fighting over the available plants. This is the limited resources element of Darwinist theory, right? While there is conflict, no one is harmed, and they continue to coexist peacefully. Next, we see two bands of apes fighting over access to a watering hole. The conflict only involves loud screeching, yells, and posturing, no violence. Kubrick then introduces predators into the scene as a cheetah leaps down from a rock and lands on an ape to eat it. We now understand why the apes are afraid as they huddle in the cave at night. They listen to the nocturnal predators hunting them from outside. The next morning, the apes awaken to find the black monolith in front of their cave. This represents the satanic force, the serpent in the garden. And I shared some pictures for those. And I'll share the link of where I posted this originally. It is a black-sided stone whose face has the same dimensions as the movie screen. You know, that one's thanks to Jay Weidner brought that one up in room 237. Obviously not of this world. It has smooth planes and sharp angles. And it has 6 sides. So the whole Saturn cube thing, the black cube of Saturn, right? It's just not a cube in this instance. Okay. It is very different from the ape's immediate environment. Almost as different as this film is compared to all other films we've seen up to that point, you know. The apes are afraid at first, and then their curiosity helps them overcome their fight or flight response. One ape touches the monolith. He tastes it. Then all others touch as well. This touch is the communion with the satanic force. Just like Jack when he drinks the drink. It is the communion with the satanic force. Okay. The next shot is from the ape's perspective as he touches it. Looking up at the monolith. It aligns with the sun and moon as it communicates with the ape's mind. This shot is one of the most beautiful. I mean, what a fantastic photographer. Okay, this perspective transforms the rectangular face of the monolith into a trapezoid. That's why it's not a cube, because when you're looking up at a cube, it would change the dimensions. That's why it has to be like this, shaped like this. So from this perspective, It is a truncated pyramid. The monolith is a trapezoid. This symbol is very significant to Satanists. It represents the trap of consciousness. Anyway, consciousness, the trap of mental slavery under the ruler. The trapezoid is the trap for the minds of those enslaved, right? So this ape has become enslaved by this satanic force with this communion. Okay. So we see the truncated pyramid, and if we follow the lines of the sides of the pyramid, the apex would be right in the center of the moon. Okay. And right above the top of the pyramid is the sun. Okay. All right. So this is huge for people. Just look at it. Okay. This trapezoid with the sun above is reminiscent of the truncated pyramid of the all-seeing eye, the Masonic iconography, the back of the dollar bill, right? But the eye is the moon. The apex of the pyramid is the moon, and the sun is trapped in the trapezoid. That's interesting, isn't it? So yeah, we're not going to get into that, but basically the eye of the pyramid is the feminine goddess, Mystery Babylon, the whore of Babylon, Inanna Ishtar. That is the female consort of Baal Haman, who these Tophets also, this could be the perspective seen from the inside of the little pot that is buried under the Tophet, which contains burned ashes of children. This perspective of the burned ashes looking up, this is also that. Okay. Okay. So the Tophet of, what's her name? The Tanit and Baal Haman. That's what this is as well. Okay. And the child sacrifice and all of that, fold that into the equation here. Okay. All right. So I didn't think about that then. So I'm just adding that now. The monolith being a six-sided black stone is direct reference to Saturn. Okay, I guess I did mention that. Another element to notice is the moon creates a set of horns over the sun, like the horns of Baal. This is like their big symbol. A crown would be horns. The prince or king wore horns. That was to signify their dominance over others. Okay, and it was the time of Taurus when we don't want it like so anyway, there was the ancient cult of Inanna, Ishtar, and that we will see again in Eyes Wide Shut. Okay, it will all tie. So we're not going to get into that now. Another element to notice. Okay, I said that. So the horns of Baal Haman is the male consort of Tanit. Tanit is of the Phoenician. She is the mother goddess, the Magna Mater. This is the same goddess that they still are doing dark occult ritual to. Okay, just ask Damien Eccles. We're not going to get into that anyway. So, okay, this combination of visual elements gives the viewer no doubt this is depicting a satanic force. We are to assume the information transmitted to the apes is satanic in nature. Like the words spoken to Eve by the serpent in the garden. Next, we see an ape picking through a pig carcass. The ape is visibly shown thinking as a flash of the trapezoid shot is edited into the scene. Okay, so he's thinking, and then flash, satanic spark into his head. We assume the thinking ape is realizing that this carcass is the remains of a living animal. He picks up a large bone and uses it as a club to smash the other bones. He's excited at the destruction of the bones in front of him as he swings the club. It is his will is transformed into this tool which does such devastation. And he's devastating the remains. He can see how easily the bones break. We see him smash the fragile skull, and flashes of tapirs falling dead are sewn into the epic scene. So Kubrick wants us to know that this ape is taking this information of how easy the bones smash and how I can use this tool to smash it. How that translates to the murder of a tapir. Okay, he's using film techniques to show the striking down of his fellow inhabitant of the garden, strikes him down. Okay, and next we see an ape eating a freshly killed piece of animal flesh. His teeth squish into the raw meat as he bites, and we hear the sound of buzzing flies. Kubrick didn't have to add the flies. He wants you to get a certain impression. He wants you to understand the decay and rot, which is eating of the flesh of this fellow inhabitant of the garden. It happens at exactly 17 minutes. It's a very big number for the Satanists. 17, I even got an email asking more about this. 17, I learned from an old friend, an old acquaintance. She told me that I did not discover this. She found it in a book and told me, and I can't find it. I don't know where. I'm trying to find. But anyway, 17 divides phi. Phi is the natural order of progression of phi is growth. Phi is like the face of a sunflower. The spiral, the mathematics of that spiral is each segment of a conch shell. Each segment is 1.618 times bigger than the last. So that is like a little key into the mathematics of nature and how it grows. And phi is is in the pentagram. That's why the occultists wear the pentagram, because phi is there. Like each bar of the elements of the pentagram, each one is successfully 1.618 times bigger. Just like your hand with Da Vinci, Vitruvian Man, the way that the way we are broken into geometrically is 1.618. This is the growth pattern of nature, right? 17 divides phi. If you think about it, 1.618, 1618, 16, 18. 17 on the number line divides phi. If the 17 wasn't there, or if do you, in the number line 15, 16, 17, 18, right? If the 17 wasn't there, it would be 16, 18, which is the code of nature, of growth and everything. But 17 is there on the number line dividing it. Okay, that is one of the reasons why it is such a satanic number. And Q is the letter that they attach to 17, and it is, I mean, it is, I don't know, it goes deep. It's an egg, like with a crack, right? It's the breaking of the egg. So anyway, so 17 is a very highly occult, satanic number. And that's when Kubrick chooses to put this on the screen. I think I took the screenshot at 1723 or something. But we can see that the flies are buzzing. And so we are made to think of the decay. And so he's eating decay now. Okay. This is another element of Satanism. They worship decay as opposed to growth. They hate growth. They love death, right? So now he's eating death. Okay. It's a significant change. The film cuts to wider view, showing the entire troop of apes eating raw meat as they sit around a pig carcass. So now we see the fallen member of God's garden being eaten by others. All of them have learned to eat it now. Now they're all eating death. Now they're all becoming changed. Okay. They all have clubs, including the babies, which indicates they learn from each other and pass knowledge to their offspring. That's what Kubrick is showing us. After the whole tribe has eaten their fill of raw flesh, they make their way to the watering hole. They confront their rivals, the other group of apes at the hole. They make loud noises and posturing like usual, except today is different. When one rival ape charges at the armed troop, he is quickly bashed in the head with a club. This is the murder of Abel by Cain. This is the first murder. I mean, we know he murdered the tapir, but he's murdering his own kind now. Okay? This is the story of Cain and Abel being bashed with a rock. Very similar to being bashed with a club. It's the tool expressing the will of the... All right, anyway. So, all the other apes take turns smashing the dead ape with their clubs. each of them committing wrathful aggression, violence against their fellow ape. The rest of the unarmed apes flee, and the armed troop wins the watering hole. This all aligning with Darwin's survival of the fittest premise. Now the psychopathic apes win the day and are free to enjoy the resources won by their aggression. The alpha ape throws his club in the air, literally casting it out of the garden. This shot of the bone being cast out, spliced with the spaceship hovering over Earth, shows intellect combined with violence and domination to give us this technology. This technology carries mankind out of our primitive state to where we have dominated the entire planet, effectively casting us out of the Garden of Eden and into the cold blackness of space. So there's the bone being cast out. There's the technology, right? What Kubrick is trying to teach us, according to the mystery schools, meat is the forbidden fruit. It came from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. When eating of any other fruit, there is no need of knowledge of good or evil. But when you steal the life and flesh from another being, you know it's wrong. It is apparent. You can hear it in your heart. This is the sin that destroys the garden. This is what happens to mankind to make us not fit for God's plan anymore. This is what cast us out. The psychopathy. So there are a few more references to carnism in the film. One is at the 47 minutes when Heywood Floyd and his colleagues are zooming across the lunar surface in a rocket bus on their way to view the monolith discovered buried on the moon. One of the men asks, "Is anybody hungry?" Carrying a white plastic cooler. Opening it, he offered the contents to Mr. Floyd. Heywood asks, "What is that? Chicken?" The response was, "Something like that. It tastes like it anyway," he said with a chuckle. Everyone laughs, and the third man asks, "Do you have any ham?" This directly relates to the opening scenes where the ape's first flesh meal was a pig. He takes the bite and says, "Hey, this is pretty good." The man with the cooler replies, "They're getting better at it all the time," reminding us that we have been murdering and eating pigs since the Garden of Eden. And pigs is long pork, like humans is long pig. Like we'll get into that later, I guess. So, hey, that's pretty good. Yeah, they're getting better at it all the time. Okay, what seems to be different now, though, is how sanitized and removed we are from committing the murder, which created the meal. Now we eat our dead pig in neat little white square sandwiches wrapped in plastic from a cooler. The days of wielding a club are long behind us, yet we are still ingesting suffering and death. Eating death. The last depiction of carnism is at the end of the film when Bowman is inside the monolith orbiting Jupiter. He sees himself older. This is Kubrick depicting timelessness, right? Time is all at once now. He's in the Tesseract, but we'll talk about the Tesseract later. The last depiction of carnism is at the end of the film when Bowman is inside the monolith orbiting Jupiter. He sees himself older, eating a plate of meat and vegetables under a painting of a gentleman picking fruit for his lady from a tree. This reminds us of the Garden of Eden subplot, as well as showing us Bowman's willingness to eat suffering and death. No matter how refined his tastes may seem with his smoking jacket and crystal wine glass, he's still committing violence and domination toward his fellow beings. This final confirmation completed, Bowman is rewarded by the satanic force and given apotheosis in question mark. Yeah. He's given access to another level of existence. The ultimate goal of the alchemist, we are to believe. Mystery Babylon is telling us, with the power of intellect combined with violence and domination, they rule this world and will be given access to the next. That's what it's saying. They rule this world and will be given access to the next. That's what they believe. In the final scene, Bowman is transformed into a star child looking at Earth from space. And the audience is left wondering if he is in a state of excited celebration or mournful regret. What is that face? Is he looking at us like, oh, another thing to destroy, like an ant to a young boy who just wants to kill? All of the enlightened spiritual traditions know eating flesh is wrong. And we could read in that book that the Cathars would do a consolamentum where they would do penance for being alive and for, making babies, and and they only eat fish. Like, apparently fish is okay. And so this cleanses their soul so that when they get to the afterlife, hopefully they can be either reincarnated well or set free from the reincarnation. I forget. But the ninth gate basically depicts that, where Corso is being accepted into the next level, beyond, without even having to die first. And he doesn't even have to become a mortal being. It's very satanic. The ninth gate is very satanic. Well, I talked about that with William Ramsey, and everybody should check out his episodes where I was featured as a guest. Anyway, besides the point. Earth cannot be returned to Eden until we all follow God's first rule of the garden: do no harm. Maybe then we can be led back into his good graces and be allowed to have all the abundance of Eden once again. But currently, we're a bunch of psychopaths. We're dominating each other and killing and eating each other. Okay? Read the Epstein files. Just listen to victims. Anyway, so this is the beginning of the satanic force in man. This is the beginning of what Kubrick is saying. This is mankind. He's basically saying that we were born from evil. It's basically him saying there is no redeeming us. And I believe that all of his films are depicting just that. Especially Eyes Wide Shut. So that's what he's doing with 2001. He's laying the groundwork for his magnum opus, which is to reveal the nature of the satanic psychopaths who believe they own this world and will be admitted to the next. That's what he did with 2001. He gave us the basis to start from. Now we know why in Full Metal Jacket, when they're about to go beat Gomer Pyle with their soap, they're all working together as a troop clan. We see the soap rolled up in those towels is just like a bone club. And they all participate. All of them. Even Joker has to hit him. And then Joker is traumatized by being a participant. He can't hear the agony of his friend that he did that to. Just like I don't like to think about the agony of our friends, the animals who we are here with. They were born into flesh just like us. They deserve to keep their flesh just like we do. I don't want anybody to eat my legs or to kill me and eat me as a sandwich. I am going to afford that to the rest of the world. I think Kubrick's personal chef wrote many vegetarian cookbooks, but Kubrick was not vegetarian. But I think he ate food just because he saw it as fuel. I don't think he wanted to be making any big statements about vegetarianism or veganism. I don't think that was the goal of this. It was kind of for me when I first wrote it. I was like, I wanted to show people, you know, and so I create, it, but really, it's just a vehicle for the idea. The domination of others, the eating of the flesh of another, is to totally dominate it. And that is a perfect way to illustrate the psychopathic nature that he is trying to describe to us in all these films. Barry Lyndon, The Shining, who were those people at the party that were so happy to be there? Why is Jack happy to be in the picture? He's getting his booze. So, there's a lot going on. There's a lot that Kubrick is going to branch out from this. But this is the core of the main story he's telling us, that humankind was born in sin. Like, we are evil at our core. That's what. And the fact that we willingly kill and eat animals and pay for it, that will mutilate our own babies, we are crazy, and we follow orders of dominators. The whole species is destroyed because we all follow orders to dominating predators. And we all know that. But Kubrick is giving us visual, non-submersible units that can stick with us. And we can use these archetypes that he's creating as the basis of understanding the mentality, the nature of the psychopath. That ape smashing the bones is the birth of the psychopath. All the other apes contributing and beating the first one and participating in the kill, that is the compliance with evil, that all of us as a species, okay, yes, I will hit the thing, I will kill the guy. We say, okay. And that's what Hitler was doing. That's what, Pol Pot was doing. I mean, the true psychopathy, that's what Kubrick is getting at. And he kind of started with the war movie there. And, he was trying to show us, and he was kind of fumbling the ball with the first one, Paths of Glory. Well, not the first, but I mean, in Paths of Glory, he was depicting the psychopath, the general who's willing to kill his own men, for some metal or paper or bullshit, right? That was telling us. And then at the end, with the goddess singing, Christiane singing to all of those soldiers were boys. And they were all sung to by a young nanny. They can relate to their mother as children. And then they see this woman that they are there to destroy her home and kill her husband. And she's singing them a song. And they all weep, because, oh my God, what have I done? Right? This is the same story Kubrick has been telling. And he did again with, the comedy there, the Dr. Strangelove. He was showing the psychopathy and how people following orders to psychopath. I mean, what is Ripper? Ripper was total. He's named Jack Ripper, right? He's a psychopath. And everybody follows his orders. Feed me that bell, Mandrake. The redcoats are coming. Dude, this guy's crazy. We don't have to follow his orders, but they do. Right? This is the state of humanity. So really, 2001 is Kubrick is finally understanding the archetypes that he's going to be working with for the rest of his career. And he's depicting it all in a visual language. He's giving us all of it there. It's all there. We have to see it. So, I mean, I am an anarchist that cares about the lives of animals. And I have this perspective. This is what I see. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. Maybe carnists don't agree. Maybe those who want to kill an animal and eat it don't agree with me. But you can't disagree with the fact that killing and eating something is a very good depiction of domination over another, right? I mean, that's what when the apes were afraid, they were afraid of that tiger, puma, cat beast, the cat beast of Inanna Ishtar, which we will see again and again and again. Kubrick will show us again. Eyes Wide Shut, his last film. In the last moments of the film, he showed us that predator cat. Just for kids, stuffed. Anyway, I don't know. Maybe I should end it here. Please give me your comments. I'm sure that everybody's going to get mad. I mean, even if you eat meat every day and you don't like vegetables, this is a valid point. I mean, so I'm not attacking those that eat meat. I'm not doing that. I feed my son meat. He's got a developing brain. Like it's a very tough thing. It is hard for me to come to terms with the fact that I too am a predator. Like we have to see ourselves in the ape. We follow the order. We also beat the other. We have rival troops that we dominate and kill. So, yes, we eat the flesh. We eat death. But that's beside the point. So I love you guys. And I don't know, I might record another one, but this will be for tonight. This will be part 3 done. And I didn't play any of the film because YouTube. I mean, I would play you clips of the apes eating the flesh and I would let you hear the sound of the flies. I mean, it is very, just watch the film again, please. Watch it again with this in mind. And then think about how he uses this, the apes, the mentality of the apes, as the foundational element of his other films. He's showing us mankind, and we're looking back at ourselves. You know what I mean? And we look at this baby, pure and innocent. Oh, hold him down, chop his penis, quick, make him, feed him death, right? I mean, what is our culture doing? Like, in this timeless place, he could go back to the beginning and start all over again, right? I mean, that's what he's showing us at the end of 2001. He's also showing us the potential of we are just a baby species. We could grow out of this satanic mindset. I mean, it is kind of a hopeful thing. So there's a lot of ways to look at it. Okay. And, but really, just to understand the psychopathy of humans and where it started from and how it's a satanic force from beyond flesh. Okay. That comes down from something. Okay. Whether it be the moon goddess or the Baal Haman or whatever, Yaldabal, or whatever the hell, you know. So anyway, maybe if we do no harm to our babies and we show our babies how to do no harm to others, maybe then we can redeem ourselves as a species. But until then, Kubrick is very disappointed. And we're going to see that again and again. So anyway, thank you all for listening. And we love that you're here, and we love that you're giving your ears and your attention. Thank you for thinking of these thoughts. A lot of people don't want to think about this. But that's what Wake the Dead, Sean McCann, Wake the Dead is very good at doing. So if you've never heard of Sean McCann before, or if you don't know of my work, you can find Wake the Dead is my podcast, and you will find, Occult Kubrick is my other podcast, right? Wake the Dead is my original. This is my first creation, and you will find Wake the Dead on all the Spotify and BitChute and Rumble and YouTube and all that. Wake the Dead is there to go learn more about how I too am investigating the psychopathy of humanity, the mental state, and the mind control, the domination, and mind control that the psychopaths use on us, which is expertly depicted in Eyes Wide Shut, which we will get to far from now. Hopefully, I can get these elements so that we get these fundamental blocks of understanding. Okay. Anyway, you can find Wake the Dead, and you will also find Occult Kubrick, and everything that I, Sean McCann, produce or create can be found at onegreatworknetwork.com/Sean-McCann. And actually there you will find this essay. So there's Occult Kubrick. That's our web. That's the web page, right? Okay, but here, this is onegreatworknetwork.com/Sean-McCann. You'll find everything here, including donate. Please donate. I do not have commercials. I do not use commercials. I do not invade your brain. I know I'm posting it on Rumble and YouTube, and they will give you commercials. I don't, they might not pay me out. I mean, Rumble might pay me. Rumble's paying so far. YouTube is like, we don't have to pay you, you know? So like, but they're going to run commercials. So that's not me. Okay. Anyway, I don't run commercials, and I have a store. I have designs. I've been making these t-shirts for a long time, long before I had a podcast. So if anybody wants to donate or buy a t-shirt, they can do so, and find there's a donate page here. I do have I'm sorry guys, but I need the help, right? So I do have a P.O. box. You can send anything, including cannabis, please, to Sean McCann or Wake the Dead, P.O. Box 93, Oberlin, Ohio 44074. Thank you. I have a family. I mean, I buy food and stuff. I have a job. Because I'm not going to make you pay money to hear my ramblings. I mean, what the hell, dude? I'm one of you, and I am, sharing my thoughts. So I don't want to take your money because I don't want to give money. Okay. So anyway, I created these pieces of artwork that you can buy, or you can donate. There's a donate page, and please send me a letter, send me stuff. I'm paying for this P.O. box. And so far, Thomas, Paranoid American, Thomas has sent me the only piece of mail I've ever received. Thank you, Thomas. God bless you, brother. And so yeah, send me some stuff. It's fun to be connected and to have an actual connection that's like, I can't go visit you, but you can maybe send me a handwritten note or like a trinket or something. I don't know, whatever. I don't know. Don't send me anything dangerous or illegal, in quotes. Okay, guys. If it is illegal, maybe just tighten it up and make it so no dogs can smell it. Okay. Besides that, anyway, if it's a random drug, I might not take it because I don't know. I got to trust you. But cannabis, I can tell what that is. Anyway, I love you guys, and I really hope that you all enjoy what I have shared. Please go to Occult Kubrick on YouTube and follow me. I've only got 22 subscribers. I've only got 2 videos. All right. I'm starting from scratch over here. Okay. And I'm going to bring in the old stuff that I did on Wake the Dead. I'm going to bring it here to Occult Kubrick as well. So people that just want the Kubrick stuff can follow me here. They don't have to follow Wake the Dead if they don't want to listen about Manchurian Candidate or Sallow, 120 Days of Sodom. I mean, there's a lot of stuff on Wake the Dead that you might not want to listen to. Although I find it to be integral information for understanding the world as it is. So I share with you what's important. Sometimes it's kind of harsh and gross, but it's the truth. So you'll find it there. Anyway, so yes, Occult Kubrick, come follow Occult Kubrick. And you will find Occult Kubrick on Rumble, Odyssey, as well as, I'm on BitChute, and I'm on, all the places. I've only have two so far, and you'll see the predator's eyes staring at you. That's going to be that is the teachings. That is the Occult Kubrick right there. We're going to learn about the predator, right? We're going to learn about his eyes. Okay. And we're going to learn about this monolith. We're going to learn about Baal and Tanit, all about that stuff. Okay. So you don't have to follow Wake the Dead. I suggest you do, but you'll find all that stuff here on Occult Kubrick. So definitely follow. The audio, I am posting the audio on the Wake the Dead channel. So if you want to hear this, you can get an RSS feed if you choose to not be included with Wake the Dead. But Wake the Dead now has or Occult Kubrick now has an Odyssey channel, and Odyssey offers an RSS feed. For every channel that it does, it has an RSS feed. So you can subscribe to the RSS feed from Odyssey or the RSS feed of Wake the Dead from Spotify. And you will also receive all of Wake the Dead's productions as well. So that I'm putting it all on Spotify on the same channel because it's not separate. It is the same piece of art. I'm putting it in a separate place because my Wake the Dead channel has a lot of Kubrick stuff, man. There's a lot of Kubrick stuff. And I need to kind of comb it out and separate it out because I know that not everybody wants to hear about Cariolahe being trained as a fucking predator to come and slit your throat after the New World Order is taken over, right? So, I mean, that is acquired. You have to have an acquired taste for that. And we love Carrie. She's scheduled to have another episode with us soon. So anyway, man, this is a long goodbye. Yes, please follow Occult Kubrick. Follow Wake the Dead. Please donate. See my other artworks. Buy a t-shirt. Give comments. Tell me what you think. Tell me how wrong I am. Tell me how pissed you are. Send me an email. I made a separate email for this, occultkubrick@gmail.com. You can all send me emails to occultkubrick@gmail.com. Okay? So everybody can rant all of their anger at the email. So I can read it. I do read them. I do. If I don't get to answering all of them, that's because I have a job, and I'm sorry. It takes like 4 days of my life. And then the other 3 days, I'm a dad. So like, yeah, anyway, I love you guys. And thank you for your attention and your time. And I will probably start recording part 4 in a few minutes because I'm still awake. But this is the end of that. Thank you.